All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Yeah.
All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another fabulous edition of ASAP Real Talk, where we got our boy Freddie. Say what's up to the peoples.
What's going on, everybody? Glad to be back on this Monday. Excited to be on this show. Ready to bring the real talk, only way I know how to do it. Let's go.
And where we have the new kid on the block, Eric. Eric, say what's up to the people.
Yo, what's up? Thank you for having me. I'm ready to talk some sports. You already know what it is.
Well, we're about to find out what it is. I don't know you right now, Eric. We're about to find out, so we're going to hold that pause. Ray, Mr. Bond Chronicles, say what's up to the peoples.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on? We got a great show ahead. Let's do this.
All right, just quick update right now, man. We got the Patriots and the Buffalo Bills Monday Night Football. The score's 8-7, and it's looking mighty frosty out there in Buffalo. All right, so we're going to kick this thing off with NFL hot takes. My hot take is Lamar Jackson. It's time to start thinking about, is he elite? The boy ain't elite. You done seen it, okay? They got lucky. I say they got lucky. You know, well, actually, no, I take that back. Let me rephrase that. They got unlucky. I forgot. I got unlucky because they didn't convert the two-point conversion. So they lost to the crappy, damn near almost dead in the grave Pittsburgh Steelers. So the man's not elite. He's not elite. I don't care what anybody says. The man's not elite. And I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to call it, Freddie. I'm going to tell you right now, Baltimore probably, if they're not careful, may slip. Well, now they're going to make the playoff, but they're not going to do nothing. And they're not in the top 5. That's for damn sure. Freddie, what's your hot take?
I should have known that was coming. I was either come for you or I was going to come for Ray. But listen here. The New York Giants will trade Saquon Barkley. He will not be a New York Giant next season. We will go out there and get Russell Wilson to be our new franchise quarterback in the Big Apple. We all know that Sierra wants to be either in LA or New York. Currently, all LA teams have quarterbacks. Both New York teams don't. I don't see them going to the Jets. So, he will be
Freddie,
a New York Giant.
Sierra don't even like the damn weather in the north. She don't even like to be in Seattle. What makes you think she's going to go to New York? She going to damn Miami. Stop kidding yourself.
Why would she
Eric,
go to Miami?
what's your hot
New
take?
York?
She don't be in no damn New York. She going to Miami. She going down there in South Beach. What you got, Eric?
I'm seeing all this hype about a team that's playing today, and I think they're one of the most overrated teams right now in the New England Patriots, Mac Jones and the New England Patriots. And let me tell you why. All this boo-hoo about Mac Jones being the best out of the draft just because he has a winning record. Go look at his last 5 stats in his last 5 games. He hasn't done jack anything. It's all his defense. And even then, I think they're going to be a first-round exit regardless of anything. They ain't going to beat no Chiefs. They're not going to beat not even the Ravens in the playoffs. Not even the Ravens in the playoffs. I don't have them standing a chance this year. Bill Belichick, even though he's a great coach and he's proven, he ain't going to do anything in the playoffs this year. That team is overrated in general. Shouldn't even be in anybody's top 5.
All right, Ray. What you got for us? Hold on, no, I'm not gonna say. No, I'm going back to you, Eric. That's bullshit. I don't know where. I don't know what TV show. Yeah, okay. Look, Nate the Great. I got it, man. You can throw out some little numbers at me all day long, crunch some little equations all you want. I get it, but guy, they're freaking winning, and they're on top of their division. And right now, they're showing up the Buffalo Bills in a windy Buffalo. Don't tell me they're over freaking rated when they're freaking winning. I don't care what your numbers say. At the end of the day, a W is a freaking W, and they're freaking winning. So they're stopping that overrated craziness. Okay, I'm going. I'm off my. No, you know what? I'm gonna give Eric a chance. I'm gonna be a gentleman. Eric, what you got to say about that?
So you're giving them credit for beating teams like the Jets? You're really gonna
No,
give them credit for beating teams like the Jets?
Listen,
And even right now, yeah, they're at Buffalo, but did you see how they scored the touchdown? It was off of just one lucky run. From there, they haven't scored anything right now. And a lot of people are talking about Buffalo being overrated and their defense. And I mean, they only scored 8 in this windy city. The Patriots are just overrated, man. They're not gonna. You really think they're gonna win a playoff game? Do you, in your right mind?
that's the freaking dude. They got Bill Belichick, arguably the best architect in freaking NFL. You got Judon, who's damn near making a viable case for Defensive Player of the Year. The defense is playing great, and you got Mac Jones fitting in the system, doesn't turn the ball a whole lot. Look, they're playing as a collective unit under Bill Belichick, scheming. And yes, look, if you watch them, when they played Tampa, when they played Dallas, and I love Dallas, but when they played Dallas, they played them well, and they got out to a slow start. But now the momentum is right behind that team right now, and they're playing well. And you can't say they're not.
You have them winning out? Do you have them winning out?
Eric, you're going to have lots of time to show me up. Let me move on over to Eric right now. I mean, Ray. Ray, what is your hot take?
Hold on. I was on mute. Jay.
Yeah, go ahead. You want me to go ahead?
To Eric's point. So, New England Patriots really haven't beaten nobody this year, bro. They beat a Dolphin. They lost to a Dolphins team game week 1. They lost.
Yeah, they got off to a slow start though.
They beat the Jets, which they should have. They lost to New Orleans, lost to the Bucks, barely beat the Houston, lost the Cowboys, blew out the Jets, beat the Chargers, beat the Panthers, blew out the Browns, beat the Falcons.
Shut out the Falcons.
Yeah, shut out the Falcons. Beat the Tennessee Titans, and I mean, they really. If you
no, don't gloss over that. I hate when you do that. I hate that because you'll sit there and talk about the Jets all day long, but then when they saw Tennessee Titans, when they had Derrick Henry, you just kind of gloss over.
But they didn't have Derrick Henry.
No, they didn't have Derrick Henry. That was 2 weeks. That was a week before here. That was last week.
Okay, my bad. Either way, Tennessee Titans
are
still a number one team.
Okay, let's talk about them. Let's talk about their last 6 weeks of turning up, right? They beat the Jets. We know who the Jets are. The Chargers have been inconsistent all year. The
Chargers were great this past week.
I'm about to say, what do you mean?
Week.
The Chargers still got a winning record.
But they've been inconsistent. That's what he said.
They've been inconsistent.
A lot of teams have been inconsistent. The freaking Packers have been inconsistent. The Kansas City Chiefs have been inconsistent. Baltimore Ravens are king of inconsistency. So what are we talking about?
The Packers are not consistent. They're 9-3. They have a better.
No, they're inconsistent. How well they play against those the New Orleans Saints?
That was week 1.
Give a damn.
You just killed the Patriots for losing in week 1.
He got blown out. When Aaron Rodgers went home, he didn't even have his underwear on. They took his underwear away from him. He went home naked, butt naked, and embarrassed.
They beat the Browns 45-7. 45
Eric,
to 7.
I have a question for you.
Who are the Browns?
Yes, what is your question?
My question is, how are you calling the New England Patriots inconsistent and the Packers not inconsistent? When
Wait,
really
I didn't call the
New
Patriots
England
inconsistent.
Patriots
I said they were
have
overrated.
one more loss.
I didn't call the Patriots
No,
inconsistent.
he called the Chargers inconsistent.
I called the Chargers inconsistent.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter. Hey, it doesn't matter. Listen, you can't say the Chargers are inconsistent and not say the Packers are inconsistent. Come on. I get they're 9-3, but you come out and you play the Saints the way they play.
How? They win most of their football games. How?
They barely beat the Rams.
Patriots.
No, that game was not close. Let's stop that. That Rams and Packers game was not close.
What was the final score, Freddie?
The score would tell you difference, Jay, but that game was.
I don't give a
over.
damn. What was the score?
blood.
What was the score?
It doesn't matter what the score is.
It absolutely matters.
Did you watch
How
that
does it
football
not
game?
matter?
Did you
Does it
watch
not
that
determine
game?
win or loss?
Jay, did you watch that game? Yes or no?
Of course I watched the game.
Because you should know that game was not as close as it was supposed to be.
But they didn't get blown out. And they should have blown them out. The Packers should have blown them out. Or at least, at the very least, had a 2-score. They should have beat it by at least 2 scores. They should not allow the Rams to hang in the way the Rams were playing. Because like you said, you're right. The Rams weren't playing well.
What's up, kid?
But the fact that the Packers allowed them to hang around was ridiculous.
I mean, see, look at one of the Packers' losses were to the Chiefs, and they had Jordan Love under center. Like with them,
They
with
also lost to the Vikings.
with Aaron. I mean, the Vikings too. They could turn it. They're one of those teams.
Oh, I didn't want to bring up the Vikings, but I'm glad you said that.
I hate the
But they
Vikings.
did lose to the Vikings, right?
They did lose. A lot of teams that were good lost to the Vikings. I don't know.
I'm
What it is with the
Eric, I'm
Vikings.
gonna let you
Not a lot,
meditate.
because the
Hold on,
Vikings
I'm gonna let
don't
Eric.
have
How are you going to say Green Bay?
Hold on a minute. Let's go on to Ray Boss because I want to let Eric meditate. I want Eric to meditate and maturate on the Vikings beating the Packers. You just sit there in your seat and you maturate on that for a minute. I want you to
Jay,
chew
I'm
on
just
it.
trying to see how can you have the Packers.
Hey,
beat-
Freddie, I want you to chew on it as well. You just chew on the Vikings beating the Packers. You chew on that for a minute. Ray, let's get your hot take.
All right. So, Jay, I think you're going to like this, but you might hate it. I don't know.
That's okay. After what Eric said about this bullshit, nothing can hurt me at this point.
Come on.
Next year, Ezekiel Elliott will not be the starting running back for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I can see where you're going with
I
that.
can see that.
Are you about to say Pollard's going to take over that spot?
Tony Pollard will be the starting
Yeah.
running back
I believe
for
it.
the Dallas
Yeah.
Cowboys. They will
I
bring
hate to
somebody
agree
else.
with you about that, but yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
They're going to bring somebody else in. They'll move Zeke. They'll try and get rid of that deal because they can't pay him that much to be the backup. But he's done. The
What
legs,
happened
the
is that
power-
he came out so good in the very beginning, and now he's just kind of petered out.
It's just,
Just-
that running. We know.
Bodies
this
broken,
fact.
breaking
running
down.
backs do not last long in the NFL.
Yeah.
They just
volume
don't.
running backs can't last.
That's why you don't pay him that much money.
Yeah.
You got to stay healthy enough to get to that second deal like McCaffrey, Henry, and Zeke did.
I mean,
But after that, it's all downhill.
I have one thing to say about this actually. The previous Dallas Cowboys running back before Ezekiel Elliott, DeMarco Murray, he only played in the NFL for 7 seasons, and he's this next year will be Ezekiel's 7th season. So I'm not saying that he's going to retire after next year.
I swear, whatever equation it is you plug all these numbers into to just come up with this crap, man. Now you're like a little factoid generator, man. I love it. It's great. It's great. All right, hey, let's move on real quick. Let's get off these hot takes, man, and move on to our next subject, man.
I have one
Somebody else got a hot.
I
Wait,
have another hot take.
Give a hot take. Give a hot
Okay.
take, Nate.
After this week, I wouldn't even be surprised if they go this week, but I think that the first 2 coaches gone this year will be Vic Fangio and Minnesota Vikings head coach. I'm forgetting his name. Mike Zimmerman. Zimmerman, yeah. Anyway, I think that they both are going to be gone probably within this week. I could see them both being fired this week because of the what game they just performed, and I think pretty much both teams have to be pretty embarrassed, and I think that both coaches are going to be fired by like this week.
I think the problem with that is the Vikings are still in the hunt for a playoff spot. So I think to make that move when they are very much so capable of getting into the playoffs, I think that would be premature. Dalvin Cook's never been really healthy there. Thielen left the last game early. They do have the win over the Packers. Kirk Cousins is just enough to get you excited, but never enough to get you over the top. I think that's tough. And I think that really a similar issue that Denver has is they got inconsistent quarterback play, and I hate that coaches lose their job because the quarterback suck. Teddy Bridgewater played like dog crap yesterday. And
Okay, to be fair, I was at the tree lighting instead of actually watching this game, but I posted a stat in the group chat where the number of total offensive yards was 100 yards additional than what Chiefs performed yesterday in that game. They had possession of the ball for 7 additional minutes, and they still ended up losing. By the way, there were 27 other teams to do that this season, and all 27 of those teams win. We're the first team in the NFL this year to lose. So I really think that this game was 100% on coaching.
No, that to me says the coaching put you in a position to win. Players got to make plays. And the quarterback didn't make the plays because, like you said, you had the recipe for success, but your quarterback didn't get it done. And if he just makes a play or two in that game, I think Denver has a different fate. And I think Denver's a good team. I don't think it's a coaching problem in Denver. Me personally, I think it's an Elway problem that he's yet to find a starting quarterback that can carry that team since Peyton Manning.
Elway stepped down as GM. He's no longer the GM anymore.
He's the president of operation. He's over.
He's still president of operations, but he doesn't control the roster.
He's over the GM.
He's over the GM, Nate.
He's still over the GM, but he doesn't do the GM responsibility.
Okay, all right, we're gonna move on now. We'll spend a whole topic on trying to educate Nate on how the whole corporate structure.
More like I'm trying to explain to you guys how.
All right, we're gonna move on. Hey, we gotta move on, man.
Broncos look great on Thanksgiving.
All right, hey, listen, guys. Chiefs, are they back in Super Bowl contention? Are the Chiefs back in Super Bowl contention? I'll tell you, man. Hey, they got out to a really shady start. I think they're kind of rounding into form. I don't like their defense. I still think they got issues on defense. For me, if they're gonna get into any sort of Super Bowl contention, I think they're gonna have to get better on that defensive side of the ball. We're gonna go reverse around the horn on this one. Ray, you're gonna start it off. Chiefs, Super Bowl contenders or not?
I'm going to say yes because there's so much parity in the NFL. But I said it before when on the same episode I criticized Lamar Jackson. I was questioned on is Patrick Mahomes elite? And I said on that episode, Patrick Mahomes is not playing like an elite quarterback. And I stand by that. I have yet to see a guy that is just taking over and dominating the game. There's been too many drops. There's too many inconsistencies on that offense as well. I agree their defense has struggled, but defense is what kept them in that game this past week. It wasn't the offense lighting it up. Even in the Cowboys game, they only scored 19 points. In the Packers game, they scored 13 points. Against the Giants, they scored 20 points. Against the Titans, they scored 3. So I've seen consistently that offense has not looked like the offense and what it should look like. Edwards-Helaire has been out a lot of the year, but I do not think that they are playing like a team that would win the Super Bowl. But because of the conference they're in and the inconsistent play from top to bottom, you look at the team with the best record going into last week was the Ravens, and they looked awful the last 2 weeks.
Right.
So I think by default, I think they're a championship contender coming out of that conference. But based on the way Mahomes is playing, I don't see them winning a big game if he continues to play like he's playing. Entirely true with all.
And it's really interesting to me. It's really interesting to me when when Mahomes played the Super Bowl. I remember everybody saying like, "This guy's the next coming. He's the next coming of greatness. He's going to be this, that, and the other." And now he seems like he's really taken quite a few hits the last couple of years. He's really his whole reputation is just kind of taking some hits, and now we're kind of questioning. Whereas, with Super Bowl year, we weren't questioning it. Everybody was like all over this guy. He's the next generational guy. And now he's like, now we're talking about he's not playing at an elite level, which he's not. I mean, he's throwing quite a few checks. He's got a slow start. I mean, it's just amazing how fast this guy has tumbled from the hierarchy down to where he's at now.
But I think even to that point, I think that's a bit of a misconception. They were down big to Tennessee in that one game when he brought him back. I didn't think he played good against San Francisco until really the second half of the fourth quarter, and he looked absolutely awful in the last Super Bowl. And I think since that game, and since they've shown some stats on how teams are defending them, Kansas City has not looked like the same team since that Super Bowl loss. And in other cases, his mechanics are bad. He's trying things he shouldn't be trying, and it's not working anymore.
No, I definitely agree with you. All right, Eric, what's your thoughts on these Kansas City Chiefs?
Just to add on what Ray said, he said it perfectly. I mean, I haven't seen that much from this offense. The reason they've been winning games recently has been that disgusting defense, and they have been stepping it up. It's still not fully the best defense or one of the best defenses. There's still not that very good, but they've been the reason why they've been in games and winning games. It's ridiculous that a year ago we've been seeing the Chiefs put up 30 points on people, 40, 20 on a consistent basis, and now they can't even put up more than 15 that much. It's horrible. I need to see more than this offense. I think they figured out Mahomes. I think they figured out the Chiefs. That's what I'm gonna say about the Chiefs offense. I think it was easy. It just gave every coach one off season to figure out what this Chiefs team is capable of, or 2 off seasons. My bad. I just got to see more than an offense. I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders. I think they will win this division, especially the Raiders being inconsistent, the Chargers, and the Broncos. But besides that, I don't see them beating anybody. Even if they make it to the Super Bowl, I don't even think they'll win the Super Bowl. But I don't think they'll make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Freddie, what you got?
Too many times we want to call out, this is a lesson to you, Jay McLovin, This is a lesson. We want to count out everybody before it's all over. At the beginning of the season, we had Nate. I don't even think the Chiefs going to be a playoff team. You have people coming out and say, oh, the Chiefs are done. They're not winning nothing. It's over. And look at this winning streak they're on. Because them Denver Bronco fans was feeling themselves just a little, thinking they had a chance because they started off winning football games. And like I always say, it's not how you start a season.
I didn't think we were going to win this game at all.
Nate, listen. Like, it's not how you start a season, it's on how you end the season. And look what they're doing. They're getting on a run and getting ready to go to the playoffs. All this Chiefs team knows how to win. They know the recipe. They know what to do to win football games. And look what happened. They're number one in their division. They striving in the right direction to make a run. Nate, what I said was, you said the Kansas City Chiefs was not even a playoff team. That's what you said. And you're wrong about that. Winners, the same thing like they said about Bama. Oh, Bama's done. Bama's trash. And look at the Tide. Look what the Tide is doing. They rolling.
I didn't.
They rolling. Roll Tide.
Just because I was wrong about the
Lakers
Georgia
are
game
going to
does
do it.
not mean
Started off slow, but when we get to rolling, y'all gonna get to hating, just like what y'all doing with the Chiefs. The Chiefs are a Super Bowl contender.
Listen, don't compare any of these damn teams to the Lakers. That's one thing I'm not going to let you do. I'm not going to let you compare these teams to your crappy, barely 500 Lakers who lost their clip. No, I'm not letting you do it, Freddie. So just hush it. Get off that Lakers crap. Just stop, okay? Because them dudes are playing like garbage too, and you know it. It's ridiculous.
And
never
never
top 5. We got top 5 teams.
Trash.
Top 5. Hey, listen.
I didn't think they were going to beat Georgia. You're right about that.
Hey.
I didn't think they were going to beat Georgia.
Hey, you said the Chiefs was not a playoff team. You said that.
No, I didn't.
You did too say that.
I didn't say they were going to win the division.
You said they were not a playoff
division,
team.
but I did not say that.
I'll find the footage. I promise you said it.
All right. Well, while you find the footage, we're gonna move on to top 5, like I was saying before. I'm pretty sure I have a feeling that Nate's gonna come back with that footage before you do. I have a feeling, but we'll see. Hey, I got New England.
You might be right.
I am right, probably.
No, Jay, give us the order, number 1 through 5.
Oh, you want the actual order? Okay, I got you. Okay. All right. Hey, listen, man, I know y'all don't believe in Arizona. I do believe in Arizona. I absolutely believe in Kyler Murray. I love what he's doing down there with Arizona, and I believe in him to the point that I'm putting Arizona as not Arizona. I'm putting Tampa Bay. I'm still got Tampa at number 1. I'm going to go against Tom Brady right now. He's coming back into form. Antonio Brown get ready to come back in a couple of games. Gronk's back. They're looking pretty good. They still got to do a little work on that defense, but I think they're going to be fine. I got Tampa right now at number 1. I got Arizona at 2. I got Green Bay at 3. I got New England 4 and Kansas City 5. All right. Let's go on to Freddie, and then we're gonna do reverse.
Repeat that one more time for me, so I can repeat it one more time.
All right. You weren't writing it down?
No, I wasn't listening to yours.
No, like you need to. Okay, you know what? Just for you, Fred, I'm gonna go again. I got Tampa at 1. I got Arizona at 2. I got Green Bay at 3. I got New England at 4 and KC at 5.
Yeah, I thought your list was delusional. That's why I asked you to go number 1. All right, number 1.
I'm giving you a certain finger gesture, but I'm not gonna put it on there. Could you imagine what it is, Freddie? I'm just saying. Okay, go ahead.
Number 1. He's a bad man in Aaron Rodgers in the Green Bay Packers. You gotta put him number 1. Yeah, I said it. They 9-3, handling their business, doing what they do. They had a bye week. Even though they have a bye week, you don't take them off no number 1 because of that. Number 2, I do have the Arizona Cardinals. I do. Because they're finding ways to win football games without their top 2 guys, and Kyler Murray and Dion. So I got them number 2. Number 3. It's interesting. I got the Chiefs. Man, like I said, the Chiefs are running, they rolling, they doing their thing, and they winning football games. Hey, getting back one of the top teams in the AFC. What's going on, my brother Kenny? What's going on?
Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody?
And then number 4, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady still look like Tom Brady, still looking like the GOAT. Hey, that team is rolling. They're getting hot at the right time. Number 5, I'm gonna go with the Patriots. You know, just because they're winning tonight. They have won the lot. They have been winning the last couple of weeks. Now, Coach, we're not sleeping on the Buccaneers. Not sleeping on them at all. They just don't belong to number 1.
How do you have the Bucs behind the Chiefs? Explain that to me.
Say it again.
How do you have the Chiefs ahead of the Bucs? Based on what?
Because they've been more consistent of late. Them guys have been rolling of late. There's too many people in and out that Bucs lineup right now, man. It just is.
You know, I would love. I'm not even going to talk about that because you know, Freddie, he don't make no sense half the time. But we just.
But you're a Cowboys fan.
You know, he don't make no sense. So
but you're a Cowboys fan.
We're just gonna let it slide, just like
Oh.
them Lakers. We're gonna let them slide. Ray, give me your top 5.
So the true top 5 is going to be, you got to start until you beat the man. You ain't the man. So I got the Bucs at 1. I got the Pats at 2. I got the Cardinals at 3. I got Aaron Rodgers and the Packers at 4. And I'm still going with Buffalo at 5.
Jay, I want to give you an apology. Jay McLovin. I'm sorry for calling your trash, your list trash. That list is trash. That list is the worst list I've ever heard when it comes to a top 5 team. But this man has the New England Patriots ahead of the Green Bay Packers. Now that's bad.
Actually, you know what? Hey, I can see that, honestly.
That's how. How can you see that? That's
Because
bad.
I will tell you how. They're. I'm telling you right now, New England is rounding into form, man. I'm telling you.
They've won 6 in a row.
But who has
Listen. Green Bay is old.
Who are they beating?
Matt LaFleur
They beat the Los Angeles Rams when they brought in a whole new wave of people when they were in turmoil.
Los
They
Angeles
rode to Arizona, beat an Arizona Cardinals team without Aaron Rodgers' top 3 receivers. Stop it, man.
Y'all there right now. Packers, hey, listen, Matt LaFleur and the Green Bay Packers cannot scheme like Bill Belichick and the Patriots can scheme. He can't scheme like that. Hell, Bill Belichick wrote the book on that shit, man. I'm telling you. Your best player. Come on, man. Packers. You lost to the freaking Vikings. I don't even know where you're finding a leg to stand on at this point. I don't even know where you get that leg.
I don't know
where you get that leg to stand on, man.
I just don't see how you can have New England over the Packers, who's been winning football games. They've been beating tough teams. They went through adversity.
But they lost to teams that they shouldn't lost to too, who loses to Minnesota. So
yes, but
that kind of kills your argument.
New England have as well.
early in the year with a rookie quarterback, and since
Yeah,
then they won.
and they on a
6 in a
6-game
row.
winning streak. That's all. I'm not saying that. I'm not totally
And then we gotta
disagreeing with you,
realize
but
Listen, I don't know if you're
that
watching this.
you're
I'm
standing
going to give
in
you an
terms of
example.
the-
I don't know if you're watching this Monday Night Football game or not, but Harris is just steamrolling Buffalo's defense, which, by the way, is a pretty good defense. Steamrolling them from long yardage. When's the last time you've seen Aaron Rodgers really have a good running game as of late?
Yeah,
That New
I'm
England
done with the
defense-
Bears.
As of late.
That New
Y'all
England
high, Bill.
defense gave up
Hmm.
a total of 13 points in 3 weeks versus the Panthers, Browns, and Falcons. Those teams can still put up some points. They've been destroying people, and that Titans team only got 13. So, and the
You
Bills
gotta
currently only
realize
have
that
7.
one of those losses is.
But to
those
be
two
fair, though, that
Patriots
Titans
teams-
team was without Derrick Henry. So
Derrick Henry is their whole offense, man. Once
yeah,
he
you
went
got
down,
to take that with a grain
yeah.
of salt.
Listen, they can still
Hmm.
put up. They got people in that offense. 13 points against the Titans is still an impressive performance.
Kenny, you got to realize this, man.
I mean, I think Julio Jones just came out of IR, so I mean, they didn't even
One
have
of
Julio
those
Jones.
losses-
He ain't been there
Green Bay
all year.
Packers
Trust me,
when
as
he-
somebody who drafted
the
him in
minute when the
fantasy,
Kansas City Chiefs,
he ain't been doing
Aaron
much.
Rodgers, that's the game Rodgers didn't even play. So that's one of the bad losses, and it was still a close game.
No. I wasn't talking about that. I'm talking about the Minnesota one.
Yeah, that's one.
I'm not counting that Kansas City. I'll throw that out. I'll give you
Okay,
that. I'll throw that one out.
So we're gonna hold them accountable for that loss. Okay, let's bring up the schedule for the Patriots and let's hold them accountable because that's something that these guys don't want to do.
You can't discount wins just because of the team. A win is a win. Like, you can only play the teams on your schedule.
This team
We're not going to like rank wins. You're not going to take weight away from wins just because because of the competition that they're playing.
This team did lose to the Dolphins. Since y'all
The
want to
Dolphins
do
You know
that,
what? I would
Coming
much
on.
rather lose to- I'd much rather lose to the Dolphins than lose to freaking
Coming
Vikings.
on, that's not a bad loss.
And truthfully,
this is what
they're doing it with the rookie quarterback, a guy that's in his first freaking year.
Because you do that with the Cowboys, and now you want to do that with the Patriots. Take their wins and then discount them based on the team because of who they're playing against. A win is a win.
That's how Freddie rolls. We all know that. We're gonna move on right now. We're gonna get into speaking of Kenny. Good to see you here, my brother. What is your top 5?
All right, my top 5. I still got Arizona. I got Arizona on top at number 1. I got Tampa Bay 2, Green Bay 3, Kansas City 4, and New England 5. Tonight is going to tell me a lot about New England. If they can find a way to win this game on the road, this will let me know that they're really rounded into playoff form. Because at the same while you beat the teams on your schedule, you still gotta, as the season goes on and we get into this stretch run, these next few weeks are going to tell us a lot because they play Buffalo, I think, 2 of the next 3 weeks or something along.
Yeah, they play Buffalo tonight, then they got a bye, and then I believe they come back and play Buffalo again.
Yeah,
They
so
play
this
Indy.
is going to
They
tell
play
us a
Indy
lot
next
in
week.
terms of this.
Oh yeah, you said they got Indianapolis and then Buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
that's what I
great.
mean. This back stretch of the season is really going to tell us about New England. But Arizona, I'm giving them credit because they've kept the train moving, even with all the injuries that they've dealt with, and they got the best record in the league. So I'm going to give them their props for that. Tampa Bay, I'm still not totally sold on their defense, but you got to give the GOAT Tom Brady, you got to give him his due because they're still finding ways to win. And they've also dealt with some injuries on the offensive side, and they've still been productive. And now they're starting to get guys back, and AB will be back at some point once he, deals with his punishment. And I know we'll deal with that later on in the show. But Green Bay's defense has played better, so I got to give them props too. And, Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. And KC seems to be finding ways to win. And looks like they're going to kind of take control of that division because the rest of the teams are pretty much kind of in free fall. I don't believe in the Chargers, and the Raiders are in a free fall. So I think that's pretty much their division to win. So that's my 5.
It's a good 5. I like it. All right, Eric, wrap it up with the top 5.
All right, so at 1, I got the Cardinals. 2, I got the Packers. 3, I got the Buccaneers. The Chiefs at 4, and the Rams at 5.
I'm not sure about I'm not sure. I get it about the Rams. I'm just a little. I'm still worried about Stafford.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's where it's gonna show me if this upcoming game against the Cardinals is gonna show me what the Rams are really made of.
Absolutely.
I have them winning.
You didn't see what they were made of when you watched them against the Packers? You
But
didn't
y'all
see
didn't
what
have
they
the
made of?
Packers high that list.
I
but
mean, they
y'all wanna
lost.
leave the
That's why.
Rams
That's
on
why I have the Packers
Mhm.
ranked above them. The Packers
Yeah,
are my number 2.
And you saw I had them up on the list, Freddie. So it's not like I'm not saying.
Oh,
Yeah.
excuse me, I respect your list, but you know what I hear when I hear Ray's and Jay list? This is what I look. This is what I do.
It's funny. That's the same. Hey, that's the same. That's the same noise I hear when I look at the Lakers' schedule or at their record.
And just for clarity, y'all talking trash about the Chargers, who just blew out the Bengals, who are up to this point a pretty good team. They finished the year with the Giants. They got one against the Chiefs. They got the Texans. They got the Broncos and the Raiders. They could easily win all but maybe one of them games, and they will be in the playoffs.
They could. I just said I'm not a believer. I'm not a believer in their defense. I think you can run all over that defense. So I'm just not.
But the AFC teams they're not running the ball.
Yeah.
Kansas City had a perfect opportunity to just run the ball. They refused to run the ball.
And also, to be fair, also we know winning against the Bengals. We know the Bengals was going to Bengals at some point in the season. So I give them credit though for winning on the road. Though I will give them credit for that. But we were the Bengals. They're kind of on a magic run at this point, looking at them as bad as they've been the last few years. So they're kind of a surprise team this year, to be honest.
That division is just a mess, but
oh my god,
it is.
It's going to be. I honestly believe that division is going to that team may be 1 or 2 games over 500 when it's all said and done. Because I got a feeling the Raiders are going to go. I'm not the Raiders, but the Ravens are about to go on the slide because Lamar Jackson is just doing entirely. He has to do too much in order for them to win.
He does
rely on him.
He don't
they
have
rely
to
on him way too much.
That's on him.
Well, maybe
y'all sleep on that offense. They got weapons on that offense. They don't have a bunch of running backs.
I will give you that. I watched the game yesterday against the Steelers, and he was holding on to the ball a lot, and he missed some open receivers, and he also made some dumb like that pick he threw in the first. I think it's in the first half was just a terrible decision, like throwing off your back foot in the middle of the field. That's just an awful decision. So.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Antonio Brown, should he be cut? Find out after this commercial break.
Whole sports, all plays. Whole sports, all plays. Whole sports, all plays. 365, we're making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. Offensitation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. Sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports, all plays.
All right. Like we were talking about, Antonio Brown, should he be cut after the latest incident for which he's involved with, which is the COVID fake card? I tell you should have paid the bills. We always pay your bills. He didn't pay your bills. Should he be cut? I don't think so. I think I forget who was talking about earlier, but he brings another dynamic to the team. He's a great route runner. He is another great route runner for another threat for Tom Brady. So I don't think he was great. Obviously, a great part of that Super Bowl run they had. So I think he should still stay there. He's not the brightest of intelligent people, but he can play. Freddie, what do you think? Do we cut him? Do we keep him? What do we do?
Can you skip me? I'm actually interested in see what Ray got.
Absolutely, we can skip you. Just like the Lakers schedule, we can skip it. Yeah, Ray Bonds, man. Hey, what do you think, man? We keeping him, not keeping him, what?
So here's my thing. Like what are we doing? Bruce Arians can't. I think this is the position that Bruce Arians has backed himself into this corner because Bruce is a brash, bravado kind of guy. So he came out at the beginning and said, 0 tolerance. So if you abide by 0 tolerance, you have.
I didn't know he said that. Wow.
I don't know why he didn't want him there in the first place. He said, I coached him in Pittsburgh. I know who he is. He made an exception for Tom Brady. If you made the exception for Tom Brady, then you're keeping him because of Tom Brady. Let's not play games here. He's the best receiver they got. He runs the best route. He's the only one that can really get downfield. He's their deep threat. Scotty Miller is not Antonio Brown. He's on basically a minimum deal. He's not costing you any money. And like Bruce Arians also said, I hope the NFL keeps checking other teams to make sure they all got their vaccination cards correct. And when they asked him, does he think other people might have fraudulent vaccination cards? His response was maybe. So me personally, kill me if you want. I'm not super upset about the fake vaccination thing. I don't know how Aaron Rodgers skated by on his when the NFL was complicit in him doing all these interviews, doing all these things where they knew he wasn't vaccinated, which is what people are telling me is the difference. One lied about it to the NFL. One told the truth to the NFL. But one guy was walking around crazy with no vaccination at all, which by all accounts, Antonio Brown has gone and gotten vaccinated. So I think this is a big thing about really nothing, to be honest. We'll see if there's any criminal charges that come. So I wouldn't cut him by any stretch of the imagination. I think he's the best player that they have on their offense in relation to Tom Brady besides Gronk. And Lenny's been playing great. But as a receiver, you need him in playoff games, somebody that you can trust, because Godwin and Evans dropped the ball a ton, and he has good rapport with Tom Brady. So I think you'll need him. But if Arians came out and said what he said, and you allow him to stay, I think now you got a whole different fight under your hands. So for that reason, he should cut him, but realistically, they should keep him.
Ray, I got a problem with what you said.
Real quick, before we move on. Hey, does Aaron Rodgers, I mean, after all that he's been through, has he even gotten his vaccination, or is he still unvaccinated?
He's
immunized.
Huh?
In his words, he's immunized. He's not vaccinated.
Well, he can't get vaccinated now because he got COVID. It's kind of like he got antibodies or something like that now.
What the hell? Hey, listen, I had COVID. They told me I could go get vaccinated after I get my COVID.
If you got COVID.
Well, you got to wait a certain period of time, though.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that Aaron Rodgers is going to be ducking this vaccination thing.
He's not getting
vaccinated. I want to rebuttal something that Ray did. Ray?
Yeah.
They both lied. I mean, one said it verbally and one did it by action. So, I mean, the only difference is Aaron Rodgers did his verbal. Antonio Brown.
But Aaron Rodgers didn't face nowhere the same consequences that Antonio Brown did.
Yeah, but Antonio Brown did something that was like against the law, Kenny.
I understand, but the point is, you just said they did the same thing. They both lied.
Yeah, they did. They both lied.
Aaron Rodgers, he didn't break the law, but he
intentionally misled the public. To me, I don't think that there's much difference. The only thing is the law part of it. That's it.
He put countless people at risk because everybody thought he was vaccinated. And he's out there with no mask.
They both put teams at risk. That's the thing. Like, even though
because Antonio Brown went and got vaccinated, so no, he didn't.
Say that again.
I said Antonio Brown went and got vaccinated, so he didn't put.
Well, he said AB. He rectified the situation. Yeah, Aaron Brown started running around.
Still out here. Yeah, he's still out here.
Antonio Brown get vaccinated?
With no mask on. He's
still out here running free and loose.
According to his lawyer,
Antonio Brown get vaccinated?
According to his lawyer, he's been vaccinated. Once I think this started to spiral, and he knew his chef or barber, or whatever, was going to.
So why did he lie about this vaccination card then? Like.
Because he did it in hopes that the chef, or nobody would talk about it. But once he got busted, now he's got to go do it.
So he still went into the season not vaccinated until he felt like he was getting caught. Same thing Aaron Rodgers did. No difference. He still jeopardized teammates. He still jeopardized people.
We're saying it's the actions afterwards. The actions afterwards is he did get the vaccination. Now he's not infecting nobody. Aaron Rodgers is still doing what Aaron Rodgers was doing. It's just now people know about it.
That's fine.
And Freddie, by your premise,
that's fine, but what I'm not going to allow y'all to say is that, Aaron Rodgers, he put his teammates in jeopardy. Antonio Brown
did. He cost them a game.
I agree, he did. But
you can't agree and disagree at the same time. So which one is it?
But what I'm saying is they both jeopardized their team by not being vaccinated by the start of the season.
So one of them lied verbally, why their punishment so different?
What came out their mouth.
So why are the punishment so drastically different? And why is one being talked about being cut and not the other?
They protect Aaron Rodgers, man. The NFL
It's
protects Aaron
just
Rodgers.
because
You know,
we
That's where it
know
comes
what
down.
it
he
is.
had a
That's where it
fake
comes down to.
vaccination card, and that's a federal crime.
It is.
So
And
it's a big
nobody's
difference.
denying that.
Yeah.
And if he has to deal with the consequences of that federally, then he does. But
Mhm.
we're talking about him in terms of his NFL
NFL, yeah.
situation.
And then you know what they doing? They looking at Antonio Brown's history. Okay, let's look at your track record. One person.
But we're not going
good.
to we're not going to litigate. We can't litigate guys on based off of their past. Like
I'm not saying we.
This is a separate situation though.
I'm
Like
not
this is a
saying
separate
we.
situation though. I don't think that's fair.
I'm not saying we. I'm talking about the NFL. What they're doing is they looking at Antonio Brown,
But they
that
gave
he
him all
has
3
a
games.
history.
Yeah,
gave
all the
3
guys
of them
that
got 3
got caught got the same punishment.
Say it again, Ray.
The defensive player and the guy that's not even on the team,
Yeah,
they all
three
got
guys.
3 games.
There was 3 guys. Yeah.
It wasn't
What
just
I'm-
AB that got 3. All of them got 3. So they gave everyone the same punishment, and the other
I'm
guys
talking
don't
about
have
from
AB's
them.
track record.
I'm talking about from him and Rodgers. That's what we talking about.
But I'm saying the other guys didn't have a questionable history, and they still got 3 games. If the premise is everybody lied, everybody misled the public, because
Okay. So
according
next
to Aaron
time you
Rodgers,
say that,
he was
Ray,
honest with
you
the
say they
NFL.
both lied.
I think that's
instead
worse.
of just saying Aaron Rodgers lied and not Antonio Brown.
Right. So
All
why?
right, let's move on to
That's my
Kenny
only
Moore.
problem.
Hey, hold on. Hey, don't worry. We're still going to continue. I just want to get Kenny Moore's opinion. Should they cut him? Should they keep him? What's your position?
I'm kind of with Ray in terms of because I'm just finding out about the coach saying that he had a 0 tolerance policy. Like if that's what you said, then you gotta be true to your word. Like you can't change course midstream. If you're saying that there's 0 tolerance, then he should have been cut. But for me, I don't think he should be cut. I think that, like, also another great point that Ray made is that they're not paying him a whole lot of money. It's a 1-year contract. They don't have any long-term commitment to him. And at the end of the day, he's going to help them win games. So, and this has always been the case in the NFL, is when you're talented, you get a little longer rope. Like if he was a scrub, he would have been cut already. But the fact that he's so productive that means he's going to get a little extra rope. And also, just talking about the Aaron Rodgers, circling back to the Aaron Rodgers thing, while they both did, while I understand that AB thing, there was a federal offense and a federal, broke federal law. To me, Aaron Rodgers is just as culpable or just as guilty because you intentionally misled the public and you went against the rules. Like you were openly defiant to the rules in terms of wearing your mask. And for him to only have to suffer $15,000 fine while AB gets 3 games, I think that's totally unfair. So I don't think that they should cut. Me personally, I don't think that they should cut AB. But if I'm Bruce Arians, then I got to hold up my word. I can't say one thing and then do another because if I do that to him, then that's basically open up Pandora's box for anybody else. Because when you say you're a 0 tolerance policy, then that means I got to get a second chance if I mess up.
That cuts your power base as a coach.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you're kind of taking your legs out from underneath you because if you're not keeping your word, then that your word is your bond. So if he's not keeping his word, then you have to start questioning him as a coach.
All right, Mr. Eric, what's your opinion on it?
Yeah, I'm gonna start off with the Aaron Rodgers situation. I think it's just they always been protecting Aaron Rodgers. We've been knowing this, so I think it has something to do with that. I don't want to get into the whole race card. I see it in the chat. I don't want to get into all that, but it could play a factor. We just don't know behind the scenes. If I was the Buccaneers, I would not cut Antonio Brown because he is probably their best receiver, and the way he was playing. But just because of what Ray said about Bruce Arians, I did not also know that he said that, but because he said that he should go with his word and he should cut him. But I would keep him as an NFL on the field standpoint. Off the field, if I were to say something, I go by my word. And if I say a promise or I say something like that so powerful, I'm going to do it. So that's what I would do. But on the field, I would keep him.
I think it just makes sense to keep him. I mean, he was part of your Super Bowl winning strategy, why would you not keep him? I think I said anytime you get a weapon, to Ray's point, anytime you get a weapon of his caliber at a very low price tag, I mean,
and on a 1-year deal, like after this year, you have no ties to him. So
right, so it almost
out and see how far you can go.
Yes, exactly. It's not going to hurt them. If anything,
I never answered the question though.
Oh, Freddie, I'm sorry, man. We'll go back to Mr. Irrelevant. Go ahead, Freddie. What's up, man? Tell me your thoughts, man. Tell me your thoughts on Aaron Brown. Antonio Brown. I'm sorry, Antonio Brown.
Listen, man. This is a man who Tom Brady trusted in New England. This is a man that this man let him come stay in his house with his wife, his kids. This is a man who we called to go down there in Tampa with Gronk. This is a man who trusts Antonio Brown. This is a man who have a better chemistry, but than he do with Mike Evans. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Tom Brady and Mike
that's
Evans
real talk.
have not got no kind of chemistry, but him and Antonio Brown do for sure. So, just like you said, it's on a cheap deal. You go to him and say, "Hey, man, for the rest of the year, we don't need nothing out of you. We just need you playing football. As long as you can go by that and do that, cool, we'll keep you. If you can't, we got to go. Because we have one goal and one goal only, and that's to win a championship."
Right.
I believe, I don't think he needs to have anybody come talk to him. Because he knows what's up. AB he knows what's up. He knows, okay, it's getting towards the end of the year. What mindset he need to be in, what he need to do, because Tom Brady and them are on a goal to win a championship. So I'll say keep him because you own a cheap deal.
Yeah, like I said, I agree with you. I think you keep him. I think like you said, you write him out. All right, we're gonna move on real quick. Freddie,
I got a question. And
go ahead, brother.
But this is something, and I was talking with someone about this earlier. So my understanding of Aaron Rodgers' situation, I know this is an Aaron Rodgers topic. My understanding of the Aaron Rodgers situation was he told the NFL he wanted to do an alternative method. They denied that request. The NFL knew he was not vaccinated.
Absolutely.
But the NFL watched him conduct and break protocol on a regular basis, week in and week out. Why is that not being talked about more? That seems blatant to me, and it went on for weeks.
I totally agree. And that's what makes that whole $15,000 so bogus. Like, he went weeks upon weeks just totally disregarding these rules, and his only punishment is $15,000,
which is nothing to him.
That's nothing.
Yeah, that's nothing.
It's pocket change.
That's like I said. Give me $15.
How does the NFL get away with that? They knew, and they didn't speak to the fact we knew he was unvaccinated. We watched him do all these interviews. We watched him be on the sideline without a mask. We watched him interact with players at the end of games, and we said and did nothing. I don't understand, if you are as stringent about COVID as you say you are, how do you let that happen? And how is there no recourse for your actions?
And do you think that's something that's going to be one of those things where it's like 2 or 3 or 4 years down the road, they start doing investigations into that? You know how things are. They always seem to do investigations way after the fact, and then all these things come out, and some whistleblower, and then all of a sudden, then it gets dealt with.
I can see it.
No,
they'll burn and destroy.
You're dead on, Ray. I'm totally with you on that.
I mean, I agree, man. There's no way Aaron Rodgers should have got a lot more than what he did. And honestly, if you're going to make a statement,
at least suspended one game. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You got to at least suspend him in one game, because how many? What's that? Was at least 10 weeks that he was going against?
Oh, he did it for a long time. Yeah,
because it was what was that, like week 10 when he went out?
Right.
Yeah, so that's 10 weeks of this guy just blatantly disregarding the rules. And that's all that he gets in terms of a punishment. Totally bogus.
And since he's like one of the faces of the NFL, if you're going to make it, if the NFL, no, what I'm saying is,
make an example
out of him. The NFL is going to make their point, and the NFL is going to try to be a legitimate business, then you want to make the example of one of the biggest guys out there to really prove your point. I mean, let's be honest. If you slap Aaron Rodgers with a 3-game suspension, or you slap with the big fines, it's going to have a lot more weight that the NFL is serious than just giving Antonio Brown a 3-game. You know, on a 1-year deal that really doesn't. I think it carries more weight when you do, you know, when you set the example high and then let it trickle down.
Definitely.
I don't know. I'm still hoping that something else comes out of this down the road. But I guess we'll have to wait and see what the next few years, if there's an investigation into that or not.
But it should have already happened. Like,
absolutely, it should have already happened.
Yeah, the punishment is going to happen. It should have happened already.
Right, I agree. Absolutely. But you know how these things work. If they put us in power, it would be a whole lot different scenario, wouldn't it?
Right.
All right, let's move on real quick. What's the next one we got up on? Monday Night Football game. Patriots and the Bills. Right now the score is 11-7 in the third quarter, 13 minutes. And right now the New England Patriots, even though the score is 11-7, it still looks like the momentum is way more in the New England favor of things. Ray, I don't know if you're watching the game, but what do you think about this game so far?
No, I am. I'm impressed again. New England's defense, as much as the weather, it's windy, it's not necessarily rainy, it's not snowy. The field looks clear. Josh Allen very nearly threw a pick six on that last drive on third down. They're not running the ball. I don't completely understand what the strategy is. I think New England's hanging around. They had the big play. They're keeping it close. They're not making any mistakes. They're going to keep running the ball, staying true to who they are. And I think this is why you have to take them seriously. That defense is legit. That defense, when you can run the ball and play good defense, that is a recipe for success. And when you have, and then you can start play action off of that. They got 2 solid tight ends. So no, they're not going to scare you over the top. That's not who they are, but they're just going to continue to methodically take advantage of you and win games. So I'm impressed so far by the strategy. I would like to see the Bills try some different things based on what I've seen so far. They're not necessarily making anything different. They can't really stop the run. And so I think Buffalo might be in trouble unless they can cause a turnover.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at at New England's rushing right now. They already got 163 rushing yards, and they just had another 15-yard run. I mean, these guys are showing no signs of letting up off the gas pedal. And Buffalo honestly can't stop their run right now. Kenny, what's your evaluation of this team or this game?
I think this game. This is one of those games that's tailor-made for New England's offense, and it's the worst case scenario for Buffalo's offense because they rely so much on the pass that these wins are just wreaking havoc with their offense and the lack of a Buffalo consistent running game. I think this is really hurting them because of this weather. Because in that area, man, that lake effect snow and that wind is something fierce. So it can wreak havoc on your passing game if you're not able to throw that tight spiral to cut through that wind. And really, honestly, I was watching before. I haven't been watching since I got on, but I was watching before I came on. And their only score came off of a miscue by New England. They muffed a punt, and they recovered and scored on that. That's their only point. So they haven't been able to move the ball clearly these first 3 quarters. So I just think that this is a bad, and what's crazy is they're gonna have to deal with this for this is winter time now. So this is not gonna be the only week that they're gonna have to deal with this. So
absolutely.
Buffalo's really gonna have to make some adjustments and they may have to run Josh Allen some more to be able to get their running game going, because if they're dealing with these home games and with that winter weather that's up there in that area, this is going to be a problem that they're going to have to face for the rest of the season.
And the interesting thing about it is the fact that Mac Jones, this game is in the third quarter, and Mac Jones only has 1 throw for 12 yards. That's it.
That's crazy.
And then you look at Josh Allen, and he's got 7 for 13 at 57 yards passing. So I mean, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Eric, what you got?
Yeah, I haven't been watching the game, but just by these stats, you said it all. The fact that Mac Jones only threw the ball once in the third quarter is ridiculous. I think this game is just a game of rushing, and the Buffalo, like Kenny said, they rely too much on Josh Allen. Sometimes you got to rely on your rushing game. Sometimes you got to rely on something else, and they're just not getting it done. I mean, once you lock down that rushing, you have to force Josh Allen to pass, and that makes it easier for the defense when your offense becomes one-dimensional. So, I mean, that's what's happening. I mean, the Patriots are little by little, they're proving me wrong. I hate it. I hate to eat my words, but I mean, they're proving it here. And if they beat the Buffalo Bills, yeah,
he didn't like it.
I hope the Buffalo Bills come back and beat them. But I mean, this game is still winnable for the Bills. But I mean, the fact that Mac Jones only threw it once is ridiculous.
But I mean, let me ask you this question. Okay, so like I said, we're in the third quarter. He's only thrown the ball once. They've ran the ball 26 times for 163 yards. At what point is the Buffalo Bills defense? Are they just giving up or what? Because if you run the ball 26 times, you only passed it once. At some point, wouldn't you be able to clamp down and then be able to take away the run and focus on that and then force them into passing? But they're not doing that. I don't quite understand. What's going through the minds of the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah,
that's physicality, man. The running game is physicality. So right. I don't think they can stack the box all they want to. New England is committed to running the ball, and then, this is a game. This is one of those games that's won in the trenches. So if that offensive line is doing their job and they're still stacking the box and they're still running the ball effectively like this, I'm going to keep ramming it down your throat until you stop it.
Right. Ray, did I talk to you already about this game?
You did. I think the other piece to that's important is I just watched and I'm a little delayed, but it was 3rd and 12, and they ran the ball up the middle. Like New England has said, we're not going to put Mac Jones in a position to make a mistake. It's windy. That is the thing that will turn this game around. If you guys want to march down the field against our defense, more power to you. But in this wind, we're not going to put the ball in danger. We're going to run it down your throat until you stop it. And then we're going to trust our defense until you force us to throw the ball. So it'll be curious to see how the second half goes and what changes, if any, Buffalo makes, considering he has only thrown the ball one time, which is a crazy stat.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree with you. All right, Big Ben. And we all saw what happened in the game. He came away with the win, but they came away with the win because they went for the 2-point and failed to convert, and so they lucked out and got the win. But, what do you think about Big Ben? I think he's just done. I think, they say, obviously if it's last year, I don't think he should try to go play with another team. I think he just needs to hang it up, retire a Steeler. He got 18 good seasons. He got a Super Bowl out of it. He's made his money. Just going ahead and going to the Super Bowl going to Canton or whatever and just retire as a Hall of Famer and then do that. Or maybe going to broadcasting or something. Ray, what should happen with Big Ben?
I think Big Ben's been done for like 2 years, to be perfectly honest. I don't think they've had a reasonable backup. Mason Rudolph hasn't been it. Dwayne Haskins hasn't been it. Back when Michael Vick was there, he wasn't it. I don't think they've been able to find an heir apparent, so they've been stuck with Ben, mainly because they've been semi-competitive. And they started last year with 11-0, and then they just spiraled out of control once they finally started playing more competition. I think it could be a coordinator issue too. I'm watching John Connor look amazing in Arizona, and he looked like trash when they drafted him, I think in the first and second round in Pittsburgh. And I'm watching Najee Harris not really do what I expected of him. He's okay, but he averaged 3.4 yards a carry versus the Ravens and hasn't really made his imprint. So I think they're kind of stuck with Ben, which is why Ben has stuck around. But I haven't been impressed with his arm strength. He hasn't been able to throw the ball down the field. He reminds me of almost Drew Brees, but just in a bigger body the last couple of years of Brees' career. And so I think with that formula, they're never going to go anywhere. They're not going to win anything. So I think it's best that he take this last year, go out, retire, live your life. You've seen to turn your life around off the field and have solace in that. There's a bunch of QBs we've talked about on the show that'll be on the move. I can't see him starting anywhere next year. And when you're Ben Roethlisberger, if you're going to be a backup in Pittsburgh. But based on, I think it was Landry Jones who was there, he was not really open to the idea of mentoring the next quarterback. So I don't really see where he fits anywhere.
I got a question for that. So when Big Ben leaves, they have a really good young team. They have a great new rookie running back that's just looking phenomenal. At what point, what do you do with Dwayne Haskins? You got him sitting there in your backup. Do you try to give him and try to develop him like they did with Winston and try to bring his game out? Or is it just really just done with Haskins? He just kind of, what do they do with him?
I don't know if we have the answer to that yet because we haven't seen him, throw a pass for Pittsburgh. I think what they're going to do, or what the plan is to do, is they're going to ride this out as long as they can. And if at some point they get eliminated from playoff contention, because right now they're still in the mix for the playoffs, I think if they ever get to that point where they're, out of playoff contention with weeks to go in the season, and then they just pull a plug on Ben and then see what they have in the Haskins. Because you have to me, I think you have to see what you have in Haskins, because you got to figure out if he's going to be your quarterback of the future or if you're going to have to address that position in the draft. So I think they really don't have much of a choice, that they have to try to see what they can get out of him, because, at the end of the day, he was a former first-round pick, while he didn't, and Ray could probably speak to this better than me, he didn't quite pan out in Washington. He still was thought of highly in his draft class. So we don't really know what Haskins is going to be as a pro quarterback. We haven't seen enough, at least in my opinion. So I think you got to take a look and at least, try to make a decision one way or the other, whether or not you're going to stick with Haskins, he's your quarterback, or if you're going to have to address it in the draft. So they're going to have to decide.
All right, Freddie, what do you think about this Big Ben situation? What should happen to him now?
Oh, boy, I heard Ray go on this little story. But listen here. It's the same with the Giants. We had Eli. Big Ben is not in the perfect situation. You want to mention Najee Harris, not running the ball effectively. Well, if he don't have nobody blocking for him, my brother, he can't run. I mean, that O-line is not good down there in Pittsburgh. So let's just be honest. They are not, that O-line is not blocking for Big Ben at all. I mean, a quarterback that cannot move, that is slow like a snail, that we've seen that they're doing like he is, Big Ben. Hey, Ken, I see you frowning down there. If you think that O-line is good, or is that what you're saying?
I don't think it's great, but I don't think that it's bad.
But I'm just, when you have an aging quarterback who can't move around,
but my only issue with what you're saying is that there's not like that their offense is without talent. Like, they got playmakers on that offense. Najee Harris is a playmaker. Chase Claypool is a playmaker. Deontay Johnson is a playmaker. That's even a tight end, Freeman, or however you say his last name. He makes plays as well. So it's not like they don't have talent on the offensive side. I just think, like Ray said, Ben is old. He just can't push the ball down the field consistently.
I'm not talking about weapons. I mean, by the way, Harris, if you guys watch the game, dropped a wide, like an easy touchdown.
That was Johnson, but go ahead.
Yeah, my bad.
That was a good throw.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, if they protect and they create separation for the run game, Pittsburgh can be a good team. They can be good on the defensive end. So what happens to Big Ben? It just depends on who they can get as a QB position. If they can't get nobody, because we all know there's really no high name in the draft.
So let me ask you this question real quick, Freddie. So are you saying that they should keep Big Ben?
Well, I'm just saying it's just like this year. It just depends on what's your best option. Are you going to take a chance of somebody in the draft, or do you believe somebody in free agency will come join your team? Do you believe Haskins that guy? I mean, they don't have any options. I mean, they're in a situation where, we know one thing about the Steelers, they're very consistent and they're very loyal to their team. Like, how many coaches they've had since?
No, you're right. No, you're right.
So, I mean, it was one of those situations,
Well, one thing for sure, I do think this is last year. I mean, there have already been rumblings around inside the Steelers organization.
The word is he's already said to other people.
Yeah, he's already
last year.
It says, does he go to another team or does he retire and go into the
I don't see that happening. If this is his last year, he's retiring. I don't see him going to another team. But I do want to address one thing that Freddie said. There's other options out there. You got quarterbacks that you could make a trade for. You got a Russell Wilson that you can make a trade for. There's even a Jimmy Garoppolo you can make a trade for. Andy Dalton you can make a He's on a 1-year deal. Like there's other options out
Hey,
there.
and don't forget, Deshaun Watson.
And Deshaun Watson is still out, right? Exactly.
Still working out there in Houston.
There's other alternatives as opposed to sticking with Big Ben. So I'm just not sure about that part. I will say about the draft, I wouldn't draft. If all the reports about this draft class in terms of quarterbacks are correct, then Freddie does have a good point there. You're probably not going to be able to address the quarterback position in the draft this year. So he's either going to have to be.
I think you go after Deshaun. I think you go after Deshaun. He's a young guy.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think there's a number of quarterbacks that could be out there. So I don't think that'll be the problem. I think the issue with Haskins, and from what I heard, there was a report that came out not too long ago, and it was really scathing, was that he's still not mature enough to be the leader of your team.
I heard that too. Like he was on his phone on the field or something.
Right.
His phone on the field and stuff like that. So
I think that's the biggest issue that they face with him. I think physically he has the tools and talent to be successful in the NFL. I just don't think he has the mentality, and not the whole black people can't be quarterbacks. I just think he's too immature to be a leader of men, to be the first one in, the last one leaving, to take the time to study the film. Like, I don't see that in him, and I haven't heard anything to say anything otherwise. But I think there's a ton of movement that's going to happen in the quarterback position. You have some young talent that you can go out and get somebody, or change your offense. Cam might still be out there. Carolina has 3 different quarterbacks that might be coming available. Tua could potentially be available. I'm not a big Tua fan, but I think there's a bunch of options. And in that division, there's nobody that you really need to say, we have to go get a top-tier quarterback, because I think everybody's kind of in the middle of the road at this point. And you got that defense in Watt that he's a game changer. So if you get a quarterback that just doesn't make mistakes,
manage the game,
Tyrod Taylor's a name that comes up. Jacoby Brissett. There's a bunch of those types of quarterbacks that I think could lead this team and this talent to the playoffs in that division.
Jacoby Brissett, I don't see Jacoby Brissett leading them to a playoffs.
No, but that's a great point though. With that defense, you just need a game manager.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Let's not forget the wink. Wink
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
He does play in cold weather.
That's a fact.
All right, Eric, you want to wrap this topic up? What do you think about Big Ben?
I think it's time to go, but if I was the Steelers, I would do one of 2 things. I would either keep Big Ben one more year and get somebody from the draft to be behind them learning, or I would go get a veteran quarterback, like you guys said, like Russell Wilson. There's a lot of people available. Then drafting a quarterback as well, just to be in the back of that veteran quarterback. I don't think none of these quarterbacks in the draft are capable of starting. They deserve to sit behind a starting quarterback in the league right now. No matter what, I think the Steelers are a perfect destination for a backup quarterback to be a rookie quarterback. But I would do either that, keep Big Ben, try to have Big Ben stay another year and have a rookie quarterback behind him, or go out and get somebody, because there is a lot of quarterbacks out there. And
there's really nobody in the draft, though, that even looks anywhere remotely impressive that you'd want to go after.
If I'm going draft, if I'm Pittsburgh and I'm going draft, I'm waiting for Bryce Young.
And they're not even going to get one of the top tier quarterbacks based on where they draft. I think a name that is not being talked about enough is, because Taylor Heineke has emerged as the best quarterback in the
NFL.
There's a man named Ryan.
I could have gone a whole conversation about hearing Heine.
You were doing so good, Ryan.
Ryan Fitzpatrick has been sitting on the bench that could come in and go to Pittsburgh and take them to the next level.
So Taylor Heineke, the guy that wasn't even a starting quarterback in the XFL, is currently the best quarterback in the NFC East. What?
Wait, this was a discussion last week, man.
He beat Tom Brady. He beat Tom Brady, and he's
not going to revisit it.
Hey, go back to equations. Hold on a minute now. Now listen, I could have gone a whole week without hearing you talk about Taylor Heineke, man.
The man just wins games. He led another game-winning drive yesterday.
Oh, man.
All right, folks. And on that note,
let's not forget he's better than Dak Prescott as well.
Right. Yeah.
I agree with you on that, Ray.
It's definitely time to talk basketball.
We got to push a little bit.
No, it's time to talk basketball.
Hey, listen, we got to push a little bit, man. We had enough of this football right now. So yeah, stay tuned, and we'll be back with the NBA hot takes right after this commercial break.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
All right, welcome back. Hey, all right, so now we're moving into the NBA segment of life, and the first one up for bids is NBA hot takes. I just want to spit out there, the Rockets are doing well. We've won, 6 games now in a row? Hey, we're doing pretty well. Freddie, I think you can probably watch out. My NBA hot take is the Rockets will finish with a better record than the LA Lakers. I'm going to put that out there.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes, I've been smoking a little crack cocaine.
Bro, what?
It feels good out here. Let me tell you something. I am relaxed. I am good. I'm going to move on over to Ray. Ray, what's your hot take?
My hot take is more so just a revelation that the Oklahoma City Thunder, who lost by 73 points, beat LeBron James.
Say it again with your chest.
So I just want to put that out there just for perspective.
Oh, wait. Yeah, we got it.
There he is.
Yeah, that's what I wanted.
73
I was waiting
points.
for you to come back.
What was
for that
that?
one.
I'll say it again for you, Freddie. Just so
You don't want to know, Freddie.
Say it for the people in the back.
So the Oklahoma City Thunder, who lost by 73 points to the Memphis Grizzlies, beat LeBron and the Los Angeles Lakers.
That's saucy. That's saucy.
I just want to
like it.
Just let that sit. Just let that sit.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious, Ray. You got me cracking up over here.
What's funny about that? That's a fact.
It is a fact, Freddie.
What
is so funny though? What is so funny to you, Freddie? The fact that it's true, or the fact that you can't believe that it's actually true?
I was just about to say that.
What are you talking about? It's a fact. That's your opinion. It's a fact. It's something that you can prove.
It happened.
Opinion is what you think.
They did lose to OKC. This ain't no.
That's
breaking,
not no hot
this
take.
ain't no
That's already happened.
made up story. They lost to them early in the season.
Hold on, I'm confused.
It's so hard to say goodbye
in OKC
to yesterday.
To OKC.
Listen, I'm confused. Are you Ray? What are you saying? Are you
saying your boys are horrible? They lost to Oklahoma City, and Oklahoma City won by 73 points.
Wait. What is the hot take though? Like that
exactly. That wasn't a hot take.
Yeah, that is the hot take. I don't know if people put that in perspective of what happened.
Wait. I'm gonna add more gas to it, Ray. They lost to Memphis by 73, and John Morant didn't play.
Be still my heart. John Morant didn't even play.
You know what? To all you Laker haters, this is for you.
I kind of want to react to the Lakers and Grizzlies game as it's going on. Do a play-by-play reaction of Lakers and Grizzlies.
We haven't played them yet. Not till later in the week, Nate.
All right, we're gonna move on. No, actually, Freddie, since you came in, go ahead. I don't want to skip over you now. Go ahead and give us your little NBA hot take.
And it can't be about the Lakers.
That's right. Something different.
All right, let's go.
There's nothing hot about a 500 ball club. Nothing is hot about that. So move on.
I'm gonna go with the Phoenix Suns.
Okay, that sounds good. I can deal with that.
I already know where this is going.
So I wish Jay was here, but I'm gonna give all the Phoenix Suns fans a round of applause. Congratulations to the regular season champions, You guys are handling your business. You guys are hot. CP3, Devin Booker, hot. Handling y'all business down there in the desert. But I want to educate you on something. Kenny's a coach. He should know this best. It's not how you start the season. It's how you finish the season. It's whoever the hottest team going towards the playoffs. You Phoenix Suns fans think it's over. You think it's okay to write the Lakers off. It's okay to write other teams off because you guys have a hot start. That's cool, but let me teach you about winning because my team is known to winning. We know how to win. We're just trying to reinvent on how to make this team win. Hey, listen, you can go with that. You remember when the Warriors did that 73-9 season? Guess what? They prioritized the regular season more than the postseason. Don't make that same mistake. Don't make that same mistake, please don't. Because if you do,
is there a hot take coming in?
How long did it take Jay to come back on this show? How long did it take him? How long?
It's almost Christmas.
Hey, he might hop off real talk. I mean, it might get.
Freddie, I'm about to put a timer on you if I don't get a hot take.
Yeah, where's the hot take? The
Phoenix Suns are going to prioritizing the regular season too much to the point where they will fail. They will get bounced out the second round. They're going to prove that they're not their team. And me and Eric is getting our revenge on the
Freddie
season. We playoffs.
Freddie, have you looked at the Lakers' schedule after the All-Star break?
Yeah, it's tough.
Okay.
We love it like that. Because you know what? We want people like you, Jay, and Kenny. We want y'all to know, oh, they for real. And guess what, Eric? When we win, we just gonna roll off like this.
Listen, let me tell you something.
We're gonna be jamming. Just know.
I can't even entertain that. I can't even entertain that thought because that's only in your head. It's not reality. That's fake. That's what they call nonfiction. It's nonfiction. So we're gonna move on from nonfiction. We're gonna go. Hold on, time out, Freddie. We're gonna move on from the nonfiction, and we're gonna come back. Hold on now.
Have no chance.
Listen, we're coming back to reality for a minute. We're gonna get out into the nonfiction world. Okay, that sounds like a great screenplay, a great storyline, but it's a non-fictional move. Kenny, what's your position there, brother?
Okay, hold on. What'd you say, Freddie? I didn't catch what you said.
This is the same man in 2020. We won the championship, that he said we didn't even have a chance.
Okay.
Give you clarity about JJ level.
Oh, then yeah. So it was much nothing. So anyway, so my hot take is this. I think Tom Thibodeau is making a mistake taking Kemba Walker out of the rotation. I think that he's a little getting too focused on analytics, and we see as a result they're on I think it's a 3-game losing streak, and he hasn't been in the lineup. So Kemba's not the problem. So I think he has to admit the error of his ways and get Kemba back in the lineup, because one of the issues or the problems with the Knicks last year was that they didn't have enough offensive firepower. And we know that in this league, it's tough to hold teams down defensively. You got to have offensive weapons. You got to be able to score to be able to win in this league. And I think that if he continues to not use Kemba Walker in the lineup, that it's going to be a big mistake. So I think he's going to have to see the error of his ways and put Kemba back in the rotation, because to me, Alec Burks is a good player, but he's better coming off the bench. He's not a starter. He shouldn't be your starting point guard. And we see how effective Derrick Rose is coming off the bench, so you don't want to change his role. So I think he's just got to admit the error of his ways and put Kemba Walker back in the starting lineup. So that's my hot take.
All right, Eric, go ahead with your hot take. What's your hot take, brother?
It's probably a bold / hot take, like combined. You guys are probably gonna look at me crazy, but it's a hot take for a reason.
Say it here.
The the Warriors. They're number one in the West. Everybody's saying they're number one in general. Everybody has them as their favorites. They will get bounced out of the playoffs in the first round. Yep.
What?
In the first round.
Talk your
In
talk.
the first round. I think when it comes to 7 games, when you're playing in the playoffs, it's a whole different dynamic. And for the Warriors, we've seen it before. They got bounced out in the play-in by who? I wonder who. Memphis, and then first with LeBron hitting that shot, and then sending them to Memphis, and then Memphis kicked them out. So I'm gonna say it is a different team, but I'm gonna say this as a hot take: the Warriors will get bounced out in the first round, regardless of the team.
Yes, sir.
I need some of that chronic you're on. That's some good chronic over there. Hey, real quick. Before we go on to the next one there, I just want to give a little quick update. So the game is still at 11-10, but I just want to point out that the New England Patriots now have run for 222 yards on 37 carries, and Mac Jones has still only thrown one pass.
And
it's so bad. It's so bad. If you're watching the game, there's not even a wide receiver lined out. It's just straight power running.
Wait, can I say something about that game real quick? Apparently, Damian Harris is out.
It's still rolling because I'm watching it too, and
he's still in it. He's still running. Oh yeah, he's got 111 yards.
Oh my god!
So similar to Ray, This is not a hot take. This is more of a reality check, and this is not in NBA. This is in college basketball.
How the hell are we going to college basketball? Nate, go back to your computer allegations. You can't come in the room and play to get a secret talk. This is hot takes for the NBA. You got an NBA hot take? You can speak. Okay, talk to you later, Nate. Have a nice day. Next time you put it in the chat. That's what the chat's there for.
Texas Southern, who got their first win today against an ranked team in Florida, in the Florida Gators.
Get out of my show, Ray. I mean, Nate, get out of my show. Get out of my show, Nate. How you gonna come into an NBA? Freddie, find that button to take away his permissions. He's got too much permissions. He's out there just freely doing his thing, man. Hey, all right. We're going to go off from hot takes. We're going to talk about Ben Simmons, man, for a minute. This one, I'm going to put in the topic. Should they trade for Ben Simmons and team him up with Damian Dollar? First of all, is Damian Dollar even going to stick around? Because now they're blowing it up. They just changed out the whole GM. I think they already blow up that team. But if he does stick around, I mean, I wouldn't trade for Ben Simmons. I don't think he brings anything valuable to the Portland that's going to make them any better than what they already got. What do you think, Freddie?
Man, listen here. I mean, who are you going to give up? Are you
exactly
got to be giving up CJ?
I mean, hey, to make the money work, right? I mean, you got to. I mean, it's a perfect trade for Philadelphia if you can find CJ to put it together beside Joel Embiid, because I really believe that Joel is just missing like that Kobe to Shaq type deal. But I really don't know if I like that trade for Portland. I mean,
exactly.
I understand it. I mean, they'll get somebody who can play defense. But, I mean, I guess, he'll relieve the pressure off of Dame that he got open. But, I don't know. I mean, what position does he play? Does he play the power forward? I mean, are they going to put Dame at the 2 and run him at the point? I mean,
that's what I would do.
They definitely be versatile. I mean, Dame can do like Steph do a lot of times, just run around screens then. I mean, the more I talk about it, I kind of agree with it in a way. But, I mean, I don't know. It's one of them trades that you just got to see on, on the court. I mean, but then you have to ask the question, okay, Dame, does that make you happy? Does that make you want to stay? Is that enough to get you guys over the hump? And I'm not sure that's the move that get you guys over the hump. I really don't think so. So I guess Portland do it to keep their superstar happy, or maybe this might be a step for preventing him wanting to leave. Maybe this help him stay in Portland. I really don't have an answer to this. I mean, I guess it's one of those things where if it happens, we just got to see what it looks like and see what position they play him at. I'm like Kenny. I probably will put him at the point and put the slide seat Dame at the shooting guard position, and then put shooters around them guys and see where that goes.
I think if that trade was to go through, Philadelphia would probably be playing that song that you keep playing out here all the time with from Death Row. So I think that'd be their theme song. Would they be playing if that trade went through? Ray, what do you think, man? What do you think about this Ben Simmons pop? What do you think? I think it's crazy.
I got two thoughts. My first thought is, if the reports are true, and Dame Lillard's come out and said that the reports aren't true, I'm really disappointed in Dame. Dame has been somebody that has kept relatively a low profile when it comes to trade talks, when it's come to being a teammate, even though most people wouldn't argue that they've failed to put enough talent around him. But I think if I'm CJ, I'm thinking exactly what this conversation started with. Basically, you've just come out and said you want me gone for Ben Simmons. And I've been with you all these years. I've been doing the best that I can. I've been the best thing that you've had. And so for you to come out like that, I just think it's really disappointing. I think more of Dame than to do that. I'm guessing you can blame it on his frustration, but I don't think CJ is the problem. And I don't think Ben Simmons fixes the problem, because I think similar to Russell Westbrook in LA, Dame's best with the ball in his hands. So to bring in a guy that can't shoot, what is Dame going to become? Klay Thompson, a catch and shoot guy? I just don't see the fit.
He just focuses on scoring, I think, if you do that.
But I think he does that now, and Dame scores best with the ball in his hands creating. He's not Devin Booker necessarily that can run around and score off the ball. His Dame time and all of that is him dribbling the ball out top, breaking the defense down or hitting long shots, and he's not going to get those opportunities with Ben Simmons. And I think the court will be even smaller because at least CJ can shoot. So I don't understand it from Portland's standpoint. I don't like that this report is coming out saying that Dame is suggesting this. And then the final point is, I think Philly, you're underselling yourself. I think Ben Simmons is a much better player than CJ McCollum. I think you can get better value unless you're getting a bunch of picks back. And I don't know that Portland has the picks, the draft capital. I think you can get better offers than CJ. If you went from we want to trade Dame for Ben to trading Ben for CJ, I think that's a huge downgrade in what you would be getting back. So I don't think it's a win for anybody from that perspective. And I think even in Philly, like, you have Seth Curry there. I don't think CJ's significantly better than Seth Curry in some cases.
Oh, yes, he is.
And in some cases in that offense, I think Seth Curry is a better fit for Joel Embiid because a lot of CJ's game is mid-range, which would cramp some of his spacing. So I don't think it makes any sense from any front. But I just, my biggest takeaway is it's disappointing that Dame will come out and say that, considering basically the only option would be to trade CJ. And I think that's nasty.
What do you think about that, Kenny?
I think, well, I have two thoughts. One, to Ray's point, I'm not sure of the fit with Ben and Dame because, like Ray says, Dame makes a lot of his plays off of high ball screens and off of ball screen action. That's the way he makes the most of his plays, is through ball screen action. So, but it's not to say that he can't catch and shoot. I think he could adjust to playing off the ball. I don't think that's going to be an issue. But to me, I don't know how Ben Simmons. I have questions about his mental. So if I'm Dame Lillard, I know what I'm getting from CJ. I know I'm getting 20 a night from CJ night in and night out. I could count on that. I could take that to the bank every night. So I would rather go to war, although they're undersized backcourt, I would rather go to war with CJ than to go to war with Ben Simmons because I have questions about his mental. And we know in the playoffs that's the majority of the games is that it's mental. So I'm just not sure if you're doing that's an upgrade. But I did want to ask Ray a question. Is the report, because I didn't hear about this report, is the report that Dame is that Dame wants Ben Simmons to be traded for CJ McCollum?
The report that I read, and I'll try and find it and I send it to the chat, was that Dame wants Ben Simmons in Portland. It wasn't for CJ.
Oh, okay.
But I think when you talk the
to
money
make a deal,
and you talk the talent, there's only one. You
right,
want Norman Powell. You're not getting Ben Simmons for Norman Powell.
I got you. Yeah, so I don't know, like, because him and from what I understand, him and CJ are tight. So I would be surprised that he would want CJ out of it. I think you want to combine them with Ben, but then the problem with that is you don't have the capital, the trade capital, to be able to make that deal unless you put somebody like a CJ McCollum. I think if they did that, I think if Philly, I would be interested to see that, because you can play CJ at the one. He could play some point guard. And you put him with Seth Curry. You got two guys that can space the court, two guys that can knock down shots that's going to open up the floor for Joel Embiid. So from Philly's perspective, I might be interested in that deal. I'm just not sure the fit on the Portland side. I'm not sure. I don't think it makes them better. So if I'm Portland, I'm not doing that deal. If Philly, I'm intrigued by that because I like the floor space, and that gives room for Tobias Harris to operate with his mid-range and with his dribble drive game. And you got two guys that's going to knock down open looks if they try to double down on Embiid. So I like it from Philly's perspective. I just don't like it from Portland's.
Yeah, that's where I'm stuck at. I'm like, I love it for Philly because, hey, Joel get his Kobe, a guy that he's okay. Here, go get your budget.
And CJ has the ability to close games too. So like that.
But on Portland, I'm like, I really just like, I'm not questioning if him and Dame can. I'm talking about the other pieces. Where do they fit in? Because you do have a Larry Nance Jr. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, to me, they got a bunch of those guys, already. Because you got Larry Nance Jr., you got Nasir Little, you got Covington. You got a bunch of those guys that are already in that type of, that 3-4 type that Ben Simmons kind of, although he's more, he plays more point, but to me he's still they're kind of similar in terms of their body types and what they bring to the game. So I don't know if that's going to help. Now I think for Ben, it would help him in terms of his mental because Portland, that's a small market. He doesn't have to worry about being under a bunch of media pressure. He goes out there on the West Coast where he can do his thing quietly. Portland's a real nice city. I lived there for a little while. Real nice city, and they it's nothing but Blazers, so he would get nothing but love from up there. So it might be good for him to get him a change of scenery. I'm just not sure that fit.
I think you need to go somewhere where a coach can help him evolve his game, and just tap into that potential. Because I still don't think.
But you know what though, Freddie? The problem with that is that if a coach has to get you to tap into your greatness, then you don't want to be great. Like I say to kids all the time, the kids that I coach, I can't want it more than you want it for yourself. Like if he doesn't want to be great, if he doesn't want to put in the work to be great, I don't care what coach you put into his life. If he's not willing to put in the work, it's not going to work.
All right, Eric, what's your thought process on what we were talking about?
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't like Ben Simmons to Portland. That just doesn't sit right with me. The way Damian Lillard even said he wanted Ben Simmons, I don't know what he's saying. I want to know what's happening behind the scenes, what he's saying, why he's saying it. But I don't think Ben Simmons to Portland would be good. But like everybody has said, CJ McCollum, if that's in the deal for Sixers, I would pull the trigger. For the Portland Trailblazers, I wouldn't. A Damian Lillard, I know this was mentioned, Damian Lillard, a Ben Simmons swap, that would be better. I don't think Portland will do it. I don't think Damian Lillard would leave. Damian Lillard is just too loyal to Portland. He's just too loyal. I've been saying that he should have left Portland, but he's just too loyal to Portland. So I don't see him in any trade talks. But I don't like Ben Simmons to Portland. It won't work out. In my opinion, it won't work out unless Damian Lillard sees something else, but I don't see nothing. I mean, Ben Simmons, look at all the things that's been happening to Ben Simmons. He hasn't even played a minute yet. So I wouldn't take that risk if I was Portland.
Now you better have a good psychologist on your staff too, because he's gonna need a lot of therapy to deal with his issues. All right, we're gonna move on now. Hey, the Bulls. The Bulls, man, for crying out loud, Mike Hughes loves this team. The Bulls being beating the Nets twice. Is it time to put them in the best team in the East? I don't think so. Not yet. I think the Nets still own that space. I don't think the Bulls are there. Although I do like Zach LaVine and I do like DeRozan, but I don't think it's quite there yet. Freddie, what do you think?
Listen here, like I said just a minute ago, it's too early. In my hot take, it's too early. It's way too early. Like I said, it's not about how you start a season, it's how you finish it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one thing I know about Kevin Durant is you let that 7 foot, however tall he is, man get hot. You let him get hot, you got a problem. And if James Harden back in Houston, woo, man, that team can get dangerous. So I mean, I'm not gonna just say, oh, you beat, because it's easy to beat somebody in the regular season, but in the postseason, we seen what happened to a Joe Harris, in the first time in the playoffs. So how is Lonzo going to act the first time in the playoffs? Is DeRozan going to go back to that shell of himself? I believe this is Zach LaVine's first year will be in the playoffs too. I believe
it is. It will be. Absolutely.
So how is this team going to act under pressure? I mean, we don't know that yet, so we can't say they're the best team in the East until we see it when it matters. That's all I'm saying. So I mean, it's like I said about the Lakers, it's still too early.
All right, Mr. Ray, what you think?
This is a team I'm having a hard time figuring out, to be perfectly honest. They've had some good wins, and then they've had some relatively bad losses. They lost to the Rockets not that long ago. They lost to the Heat, who are a good team. They got blown out by the Pacers. They've lost to the Blazers, but they stumped the Lakers. So it's just really hard to say who they are. I need a little bit more consistency. I definitely think they have a number of pieces that come out of the East. I still think Milwaukee's the team to beat in that conference. I think they're kind of coasting a little bit, rightfully so, after the long year. But I don't think that's a good matchup for them. And so I can't say that they're the favorites, but I would say they should be a top 3 to 4 seed in the East, and they'll give some people some trouble because they play defense and they can shoot the ball relatively well. And I think, like I said it before, I think Caruso is one of the bigger offseason moves that's not getting enough shine because he definitely fits that system and what they like to do.
All right, and Kenny, what do you got?
I'm with you guys. I think it's still, the Chicago still has some proving to do. And to me, Brooklyn is still the class of the East because when you, at the end of the day, you got the best player in the game, arguably, in Kevin Durant.
Who?
Kevin Durant. You got arguably the best player in the game in Kevin Durant. He's no question. He's the most skilled.
I know you're not about to say LeBron, Freddie.
And I guess Bron's just chopped liver, I guess.
No.
No. Compared to Durant,
and you can make a case for Giannis too. But to me, in terms of the most unstoppable, most skilled, I should say the combination of skills and like unguardability, and I don't even know if that's a word. I think Kevin Durant is that
and
guy.
Efficiency.
Yeah, like
LeBron's not efficient.
He can just get to his spot at any time and just rise over. He's 7 feet tall. Like he can get to his spot anytime, get his shot anytime that he wants to.
And he plays defense.
That's what
we do.
Harden is running around in the form. We don't, and who knows if Kyrie comes back at some point this season. And before y'all ask, I don't know. So don't ask me. I don't know if he's coming back this year, but he's still, it's a possibility. And even without him, I think because they were handling the Nets were handling the Bucks with just him and Kyrie. They were smashing them, and Harden was hurt, and they were handling them easily in the playoffs before Kyrie got hurt. So to me, Brooklyn is still a class of the East. Chicago still has some proving to do. To Freddie's point, all of those guys, most of those guys have never been in the playoffs. To whether it's Vucevic, whether it's Alonzo, whether it's Levine, all those guys have never.
Hey, Ken, I guess they go get their experience off of Caruso because I guess
Caruso and DeRozan. Those are pretty much the only two guys that, and it may be somebody else that I'm missing. But playoffs is a whole nother animal. The game slows down. Teams know your tendencies and the things that you want to do well, and they start taking that away. So you got to, make adjustments, and you got to find other ways to score. And I always say that the playoffs, it's about who can make a play, because once it gets to the playoffs, everybody knows everybody's sets. Everybody knows the things that you're trying to run. They're taking all of that away, and at some point, it's just who can come off a ball screen and who can make a shot. And to me, there's nobody better than getting their own shot at any point in time than Kevin Durant. So what did you say, Ray?
No, go ahead. I'll let you finish. I want to respond to Freddie, but go ahead.
Oh yeah, no. I rock with this. Is that in terms of with the East, I think it's still Brooklyn. It's still Brooklyn and everybody else. And to me, I think it's Brooklyn and then Milwaukee. Then we talk about Chicago. So if we're putting them in order, I got Brooklyn, Milwaukee, then Chicago.
Where do you have Miami?
They're probably right. You know what? Actually, I probably would put Miami with Chicago. So I would have them like tied for third. Because Miami has some. Can't forget about that.
Miami gonna be a tough out this year.
No, they are. They are.
They healthy.
I love Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry's a bulldog, and he gives them another offensive element that they didn't have from the point guard position.
Yeah, with championship experience too.
Exactly, and to me, he's an upgrade over Dragic and whoever else they was playing at the point there in Miami. So I think that helps them get a little more, easy buckets that gets the ball out of Jimmy Butler's hands where he doesn't have to play make as much. So that helps him, frees him up as well. So they are dangerous. I think the biggest key for Miami is Bam, because last year he really struggled in the playoffs. So I think he's the guy that's going to determine how far they go in the playoffs.
Ray, do you want to comment on Freddie?
Of course, Mr. Freddie had some criticisms of Kevin Durant, and just for clarity, LeBron is shooting a career high amount of threes this year per game. I think it's about 8 per game. He's shooting that at 33%, 33.7. Kevin Durant shooting at 38.2. Kevin Durant is shooting at 53.3% from the field. LeBron shooting at 47.5. Kevin Durant is averaging about 3 more points per game and 2 more rebounds a game.
Don't mention the foul line.
I was literally about to say we ain't even going to talk about free throw.
What do assists look like? You just call out everything.
And he averages close to 5 assists a game.
He's not the point guard, but he is at 5.5 assists.
Yeah.
LeBron
he doesn't have a quoted superstar at every position. He's got a couple in there, but not at every position. Plus all the superstars that are collected on your bench collecting dust, like the archaic Rajon Rondo, who has yet to see a game in the league. Seriously, you got like the NBA Hall of Fame on your team, and I don't, and you still are losing.
Marcus Aldridge not a Hall of Famer. Paul Millsap not a Hall of Famer.
Don't bring up Paul Millsap, please.
Really, Freddie?
Patty Mills, Blake Griffin.
Really, Freddie?
No.
Blake Griffin's not even playing.
Marcus Aldridge is playing well for the Nets. And Blake Griffin.
I said nothing about LaMarcus. I ain't said nothing about LaMarcus, but
Kyrie Irving's not gonna be no Hall of Fame.
Who?
Oh, no, Kyrie gonna be a Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Kyrie's gonna be a Hall of Fame.
But he's not playing though.
Man,
where is Kyrie? Hey, has anybody seen Kyrie lately? I ain't even seen him lately.
I haven't even heard news
about Kyrie Irving. I think he may be doing Uncle Drew Part 2 or something.
Hey, he's probably in Fiji by now.
All right. What we're not going to do, we're not going to slander. We're not going to have Kyrie Irving slander will not be tolerated on this show.
Thank you.
In any way, shape, or form. Let's be clear.
I said I like the movie. That's all I said.
Let's be clear.
And we're going to move on to Eric, who's going to wrap this subject matter up for us. Eric, what do you think? Bulls, is it time to put them as the best team in the East?
Nope. I still have teams like the Brooklyn Nets and Milwaukee Bucks above them. I even have Miami above them. I know the records are different, but I mean, and Chicago's at number 2, I believe, right now. Yeah, number 2.
Yeah.
But even then, I just think you guys said it all in the playoffs, it's a whole different ball game. I love what DeMar DeRozan's doing with Chicago, man.
Yeah, he's playing really well.
He could be in the MVP conversation in some people's boards. The way he's playing. I always love Caruso. As a Lakers fan, man, I can't believe we let him go like that, man. Caruso is somebody that I always loved coming off the bench, man. He's that energy you need coming off the bench. He's just the player you need, and they got a steal there. And he's underrated defensively. He really is. But yeah, the Brooklyn Nets are a better team than Chicago Bulls. If they were to meet in the playoffs, I'll easily give it to the Nets in 5. It's just the lack of experience, man. It comes down to the experience in playoffs, and they lack it. And there's other teams that have more playoff experience, especially that Milwaukee Bucks team. They just came off of a championship. The Miami Heat team are stacked with playoff-bound players, and the Brooklyn Nets. And you could make an argument for maybe the Boston Celtics. They've been in the playoffs here and there.
I'm not a believer in Boston.
But no, I still have Chicago above Boston. But I'm just saying, as an experience,
So, and Milwaukee's only a game back in terms of, and 1 loss. So
that
right
1 through 4 is close.
Chicago.
Yeah, that 1 through 4 seeding right now is close. Even 1 through 5 with Washington Wizards surprising me this year. They've been surprising me. So
they're coming back. Yeah, they're coming back to earth.
Yeah, Chicago Bulls are not a top team for me in the at number 1 or even number 2. They're at 3, maybe 4.
We talk about the East and everything, but does anybody really even care about the East? I mean, honestly, I think everything runs through the West. I can't imagine any of the teams in the East running through the West. Who do you think you got? Who you got beating Golden State or even Phoenix, at that matter? I mean, I understand Milwaukee.
I think if you got a healthy Harden and a healthy KD, I think they have enough firepower to hang with Phoenix or Golden State.
That's a big if, though. Can they stay healthy? Because God knows they all have injury plagues.
It all comes down to health with every single one of these teams.
But you can say the same thing for Phoenix, though, because Chris Paul always finds a way to get banged up, and Devin Booker is hurt right now.
Yeah, and speaking of the West, we don't know what Klay Thompson is going to come back for the Warriors, man. A lot of people are saying once Klay Thompson, everybody's going to be scared.
That's the unique thing about the Warriors. They're doing so well that even not having him, it hasn't really hurt them not having Klay Thompson or even Wiseman for that matter.
It's probably only going to take minutes off of Jordan Poole's minutes, maybe. Klay Thompson coming back. So we just got to see what happens with Klay Thompson there. I mean, I got to see it to believe it.
Allow them to slow play Klay back. They won't have to rush him back.
Yeah.
It'll be
he's in the G League right now, right?
Yeah, he's in the G League with Wiseman.
Yeah, he's getting reps.
Yeah,
but that's a great point, though, is that it's a great problem for Steve Kerr to have, is that he can take his time and really, slowly integrate Klay Thompson into the lineup because,
they're not running
last week. Jordan Poole, you could make a case that he's the most improved player in the league right now. So
he keeps improving.
You still got to give that guy minutes.
Absolutely. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, this has been another show from Real Talk ASAP, and appreciate the likes, the comments, and the shares. And we'll see you on Thursday. You have a good evening. We're out of here.
Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. Sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.